The Cliff That Sang at Dawn, 2019, Big Sur, USA. They say the ocean has a voice, but on one rare morning in Big Sur, it was the cliffs that chose to sing. It began just before sunrise, when the sky was still a deep, sleepy blue, and the Pacific stretched out like a sheet of dark glass. A pair of hikers, locals who had walked this trail dozens of times, paused near the edge of a sandstone overlook. They were expecting the usual: wind, waves, the distant bark of sea lions. What they heard instead was a single haunting note, a long, trembling whistle rising from the rock beneath their feet. At first, they thought it was some trick of the wind, a passing breeze carving its own melody through the rugged coastline. But then the tone shifted, higher, then lower, bending like the breath of some ancient instrument. One hiker later said it felt as if the cliff itself had inhaled, held the world still, and exhaled pure music. As the first hints of dawn crept across the horizon, the sound grew clearer. It wasn't random. It wasn't chaotic. It was structured, almost deliberate. A soft, flute-like chorus, echoing through natural channels in the stone. The wind, funneled through years of erosion and hidden fractures, had turned the cliffside into a giant musical instrument. Word spread quickly. Locals climbed the trail with their phones out, expecting a rumor, maybe a strange bird call. But when the wind picked up, they froze. Imagine standing on a cliff that suddenly hums beneath you, gentle, resonant, harmonic, while the sky brightens from navy to gold. People describe the sound as both calming and unnerving, like the earth was whispering an old song they weren't meant to understand. A geologist later examined the site and found narrow tunnels carved naturally into the rock, shaped almost perfectly to produce tones when the morning winds hit at the right angle and speed. A coincidence of nature, but an astonishing one. Still, the hikers who first heard it insisted there was more to the moment, something emotional, something that felt alive, as if the cliff had been waiting for the right dawn to reveal its voice. The phenomenon didn't last. Within days, a small rockfall sealed part of the formation. The music faded, replaced once again by the familiar rhythm of crashing waves. But those who stood on that cliff at sunrise carry the memory like a shared secret. The morning when nature played its own instrument, a fleeting performance never repeated. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this story, please like, share, and subscribe to help the channel grow.